fans, it's week 2 of the NFL season. The Giants play the Detroit Lions, and you're watching True Blue Review. Rich, Sunday night, what a debacle.
You know what? I can laugh about it now.
Yeah.
But I'm finally getting to that point. Maybe it's because I had a couple beers.
It took me a few days to get over the hurt.
You know what, though? You might pick the Giants last week. Because I'm going to pick the Giants every week.
Yeah.
Who's going to win against Detroit? I'm picking the Giants.
Well,
but
of course.
The thing is, I just had a feeling, just this feeling. Anytime they play Dallas, it's always a tough game.
Right.
Any divisional team.
That's right.
But they were just bad.
Well, when we looked at this season, you and I sat down, we went through every game of the season, we said to each other, what are they going to win and where are they going to lose? And to me, I expect to split with Dallas every year, especially after last year, because they had a good season last year.
True.
And so, in my mind, the first game of the season against Dallas, I kind of thought, well, I might have to just give that to Dallas. Do I want the Giants to win? Every game. Every game I want them to win. But reality speak,
I honestly thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
Going into the game. I honestly did.
Right.
But at the end of the first quarter, I was just, I was like, I was thinking they don't have this game. It was that soon into the game.
Yeah.
That I just felt like Giants are just looking bad, man.
Well, why don't we throw stats at each other here? Sure. I know I pulled a few out. You pulled a few out.
I got time of possession and stuff like that. And I don't know if I'm going to go into that, but go ahead.
Okay. First of all, in the first half, I'm not really counting the second half because I think Dallas kind of laid back on their defense, specifically in the fourth quarter. Eli Manning.
It's okay.
Only had 33 yards passing. I think that's significant, obviously. He was rushed a lot. And
the thing that was killing them, Dallas was only bringing like 4 guys. Giants couldn't establish a running game.
Yeah.
But Dallas was only bringing like 4 guys. I think they only blitzed like 3 times the entire game. They're bringing 4 guys. That means they got 7 guys back in the secondary. Eli Manning's looking at that. Plus, he's getting pressure from those 4 guys. Their 4 guys can pressure our 5 or 6 guys.
Right. And
Eli's standing back there with the pressure, and he's looking at just a bunch of guys in the secondary that don't have Giants jerseys on.
That's right.
It's almost impossible for your guys to get open, especially doing slants because they're back there playing zone and stuff. He just did not have anywhere to throw the ball.
Well, the recipient of that kind of defense and that rush ended up being Shane Vereen, where he had 9 receptions. He actually topped the team in receptions.
Right.
With 9 receptions. Those are all underneath.
And he's a scat back, which means he's throwing he's catching those short little passes.
Exactly. Another stat, Paul Perkins, 7 rushes, 16 yards.
Just horrible. That's, look, if you can't establish that running game,
right.
Dallas is not going to send all their guys up to the line. They're gonna cloud the secondary with their players, and Giants just had absolutely nothing. I was looking at this first quarter. They gained 4 yards in the first quarter. Four. Is that like in my mind? I'm thinking, is that like the worst game offensively in the first quarter in NFL history? It probably isn't. There's probably some team that lost yardage or something like that. Or maybe threw a couple pick sixes or whatever the case may be. But the bottom line is, wow, 4 yards.
Exactly.
4 yards. 3 yards rushing, man. 3. It's just terrible. And then in the second half, what was the... they only gained 59 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
59 yards. Pass and rush, 59 yards. And they had 35 yards rushing in the entire game.
Right. Yeah, and again, we talked about Paul Perkins. Actually, Orleans Darkwa had 3 rushes for 14 yards. I'd like to see him used a little bit more.
I'm ready from the start, Orleans Darkwa.
I hear you.
I thought he played better than Perkins last year.
Right.
I don't know why they're... I don't know. I don't know what I don't see in practice. I just see the game as a fan. And as far as the game is concerned, it seems like Darkwa is the one that is more consistent in the backfield. That to me, that's what I see.
Well, another player they used quite a bit was Rhett Ellison, but I don't know if they're really used to using him right now, being so new with the team.
I don't know if it's chemistry or if it's scheme. I just don't know.
He's a big boy.
I'm just baffled. I'm baffled.
Yeah, I mean, the game coming up will give us a lot more answers.
That's true.
With that.
That's true.
Pardon me. In reference to the second half, I felt like the first drive of the second half was really the telltale of the whole thing. If they scored on that a touchdown, not 3 points, I think it changes the whole dynamics of the game. They're down 16-0. They bring it down to first down at the 4-yard line.
I think it was first and goal 4.
Yeah, and then they failed to get it in.
They ran Perkins, if I'm not mistaken. He got a couple yards, at least one.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like second and goal at the 2.5 or something like that. And then Manny gets sacked. And he didn't get sacked by one guy. Like 3 Cowboys got through the line and just pummeled him.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost however many yards. He lost 6-7 yards. So there they are, back, deeper than they want to be. And then Eli's going to pass on the next play. He's in the shotgun. So there's back there on the 15, dancing around trying to find an open man. Throws an under ball to receiver on the left-hand side at the 5-yard line, and the guy gets tackled. Boom! They got to kick a field goal. It's just terrible offense.
Rosas kicked a heck of a field goal, though.
Hey, maybe he's the most positive thing.
Yeah, really.
They found a kicker. Okay, great.
So let's go to the defense real quick.
By the way, you know what?
Yeah.
Trending. Giants haven't scored 20 points in the last 6 regular season games, and if you count the game against Green Bay, the postseason
playoff game,
then they didn't.
7 games.
They didn't score. So it's 7 games. It's 7 games.
Yeah.
That they have not scored 20 points. That's not a good trend.
Yeah.
That's not a good trend. And I just, in my mind, as a fan, I just don't know why they didn't address it in the offseason if they knew that was the problem. You say, what did we not do last year? We didn't run the ball. We got to address that. And Giants haven't been run the ball for a while, man.
Right.
It's been a while.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm going to play devil's advocate on that. So I think that they haven't made the changes yet to what they did address. So, for instance, bringing Chad Wheeler in, bringing him in, and in the preseason, he looked pretty solid, and I think we may see a little bit more of him because Bobby Hart is out. Right?
I hope Bobby Hart is out.
Yeah.
I'm dead
I know.
serious.
And DJ
I hope
Fluker
he is out because I want to see somebody else on that line.
I agree.
I can't. I hope in the second game. I'm hoping John Jerry gets hurt.
Yeah.
And they don't have a choice, and then they have to play somebody else. I don't know if it's loyalty or what is it about these guys on the right side that they can't have the vision to see those guys aren't good enough to play at the level we needed to play to push the line and get a running game going. We need to get a running game going.
Yeah.
How much do we have to talk about that?
Exactly.
It's frustrating as a fan.
Well, we have DJ Fluker that they picked up as well. Let's hope that they can get those guys in there and see what they can do. The other thing too in addressing the offensive line may have been the idea of actually bringing in real fullbacks and helping out, although we didn't see it really happen in the first game. Let's see how it develops. We have to see how it develops.
Maybe it was the Dallas defense. Maybe they're more amazing than we realize, but I don't see it like that.
Well, they lost
because they're only rushing 4 guys.
They lost 2 games against the Giants last year, and they're pissed. I think that's the bottom line.
Competitive game, but I thought in the end that, and people are saying, would Beckham have made a difference? I mean, it's easy to play the what-if game.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, he didn't play.
Yeah.
He probably would have made somewhat of a difference, but would they have won the game? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I personally don't think so, because the problem was not really the passing game. It's the running game, which did not allow the Giants to get open in the secondary.
Exactly. He never got the ball downfield until the fourth quarter, when finally the Giants decided to go to a prevent type defense.
Yeah, but
and by then they're already done. The game's over. Game's over.
So I was texting with my brother and his friend during the game, and once I saw how bad the offense was playing, I said, "Wow!" I mean, once the Giants were down 6-0, I was like, "Can the Giants overcome a 6-point deficit?" That was my text, kind of jokingly, you know. We come to find out the answer is no. They couldn't overcome a 6-point deficit.
Yeah,
that's just bad. It was just bad. It was some of the worst offensive football I've seen the Giants ever play. That they were not good, you know. So,
well, moving on to the defensive side of the ball, I know my brother, who's a diehard Cowboys fan for 30 years easy. He has his way of discussing how this would have gone, but I'm going to say flat out, the Giants defense held them to 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. So it is what
they had the ball for long enough.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
and they wore that defense
Dallas
down.
had the ball for 21 minutes.
Exactly.
In the first half. And look, Dallas ain't going to lay back on the Giants. You know, this is not college or fucking high school football.
Right.
When you're a pro, you play, you put points on the board because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it's not like the Giants were way down. I mean, they were in a deficit, but Dallas was trying to score points. Mm-hmm. There's no question about that. They want to put egg on the Giants' face. They want to make them remember how much they got their ass whipped when they played the second time. So they scored 16 points, but they had the ball for 21 minutes. I think they should have scored more, quite frankly. But the Giants do have a good defense. Mm-hmm. They have a good defense. Those guys, come on, man. These guys are tired.
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
Those guys get tired, man.
Did you see Snacks on the sidelines looking at the offense going, what are you guys doing? I mean, he looked so frustrated standing on the sidelines because he was beat. He was beat. I mean, those guys were out there putting it out there the whole time.
I can't blame him.
B.J. Goodson, 18 tackles. Second year. He gets his first start. That's a real plus. Starting the season out as a middle linebacker.
That's a plus.
So that's great. Eli Apple had quite a few tackles. He was right behind B.J. Goodson. Just running over some stats here. Dalvin Tomlinson, rookie, played over 40 snaps. Nothing major there, but it's nice to see him get in. Right. We need to get these guys in.
What you want for a rookie is you want a guy that is going to play the entire season.
Yeah.
And get acclimated. And usually their second year they're really good.
Sure.
You know, or they learn a lot anyway, is what I should say.
Yeah.
They learn a great amount.
Well, they tend to be more hungry, don't they?
They do, because they're looking for that big contract.
That's right. Janoris Jenkins. I'm so proud of him. Des Bryant was in his face the whole game. John throwing smack left and right.
Just crying.
And Janoris Jenkins holds him to 2 receptions. And one
Dallas fans can say, hey, whatever, we won. That's true. You did win, but let's just be honest. Janoris Jenkins, he D'd up. He
did.
And the only he did have one catch for a significant amount of yardage, but he had the yardage, but the most significant play was that pass interference play.
Right. Which was questionable.
Yeah, of course the Dallas fans are going to say, no, man, that was pass interference.
Well, it was in Dallas.
And of course the Giants fans are going to say, that wasn't pass interference. But let's talk about people that aren't biased. None of the guys all the guys calling the game were like, I wouldn't have called that. That was a terrible call. Right. I mean, even they you know how sometimes they go down to like New York or the home base, or they have these other guys that get their opinion from. They used to be referees. Both those guys were like, yeah, we wouldn't have called that.
Yeah,
we wouldn't have called that. You know, I didn't. I mean, they were with each other, like fighting with each other. in multiple plays. That was just one, and that was significant. It was only a second down though, so they might have picked it up on the third down. It's possible. We don't know.
It was a homer call.
It wasn't a call that you like to see when you have those two type of players going at each other, because it really didn't seem significant. It didn't really seem like it affected the catching of the ball, which is what pass interference is, right?
Right.
You know, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
I'm with you.
And it cost them, because then a couple plays later, you know, they get a touchdown.
Yeah.
Dallas. And then once they got that touchdown, it was kind of like, you know, now Giants got to dig out a 13-point hole.
You know what the great thing about all this is? We get to play them again in New York.
True.
In New York, MetLife Stadium.
In a more important game, a game that has more to say about what's going to happen with the season and the playoffs. So
I agree. So all right. So close the book. Fucking done with Dallas.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to Detroit. We play on Monday night.
Yeah, Detroit.
Okay, in New York. I mind you. So
I hope that makes a difference. I'd like to think that home makes a difference.
Yeah,
I don't.
All right, so I'm gonna throw some stuff out there on the Detroit Lions offense. Matt Stafford. I mean, he's solid. He's solid. He's good on his feet. He's got a strong arm. You got to keep him in the pocket.
I mean, he don't make.
You got to keep him in the pocket.
Goddamn $80 million for nothing.
That's right. So Matt Stafford, last year ranking number 8 among all quarterbacks, and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, he's good.
His wide receivers are Golden Tate, Marvin Jones. They're solid. I mean, they don't break records all over the place.
And you got this new rookie kid.
Yeah, Kenny Galladay. And he had 2 really, really nice touchdowns this past game. And their rushing game is Giants-like, non-existent. Busting balls with the Giants, but Giants-like, pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, but you know the difference is quarterback play, because you have Eli Manning, who's a pocket quarterback, and then you got Stafford, who can get out and make those throws downfield and whatever. So it keeps the defense on their toes, and it opens up the running game a little bit. It
does.
Just his style of play.
Right. So if you're looking at, okay, so my feeling is we've got to keep Stafford contained to some extent. You're only going to do so much with him. I mean, the guy's strong, he's big, and he can run like the devil. Okay, but if you can keep him contained, and you've got Tate and Jones as your primary wide receivers, how do they stack up against the New York secondary?
I think just in general, the Giants have a good defense. We've already talked about that. I don't think there's any injuries that happened in this Dallas game, so they're going to be up for it. It's their first home game. I think that their game plan that will contain Stafford. I'm not worried about the defense.
Yeah.
I think Detroit will, quote, get theirs. But Dallas got theirs. But with all that Dallas got, I mean, let's be honest, they only scored 19 points.
Right.
It's not like they blew the doors off the Giants.
No. We just looked at that.
The Giants were just a bad offense.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sure Dallas has a decent defense, but I don't think that it's anything amazing. Giants have a better defense.
Right.
But Dallas definitely has a better offense than the Giants, and Detroit probably has a better offense than the Giants.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the defense.
Right.
Right now, I'm just thinking about the offense.
So let's switch it around. Let's put the offense on the freaking block again. Okay, so I'm going to run over some defense stuff here that I researched. Ezekiel, not another Ezekiel. Oh no, Ezekiel Ansah. He tends to be the one that most people focus on the defense.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. Last year he was injured, played 13 games. He only had 2 sacks, but again he was injured, so it's kind of hard to to really bust balls on that.
He's good. Sacks, I hear people talking about sacks. Sacks are an important stat. What you really just need is pressure.
Yeah.
And with Eli Manning, if you just if he just, because he's a pocket guy, he's not going to get out and run the edge. I mean, maybe once in a blue moon that might happen.
Mm-hmm.
But typically, he's a pocket guy. So if you collapse that pocket, you're going to make a bad throw, or he's going to have to lean or something, or not be able to go forward all the way, and he's not going to throw accurate passes. So,
Right.
Ansa can get pressure.
Yeah.
He might not be able to get sacks, but he can get pressure.
Well, on the other side, you've got Cornelius Washington. He's playing across from John Jerry. I want to focus that. Yeah. And a Sean Robinson, who's playing right across from Bobby Hart's position. Bobby Hart's not in there. We don't know who's really going to play in his position until Monday rolls around. But those two are the ones, that's the weak side right there.
Yeah. I don't know those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know Cornelius Washington, Sean. I don't know them. I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many years they played or anything like that. And I don't have the patience to look for all those stats.
Yeah. For the most part, what I could find is they don't really stand out as being top tier. But I mean, they're solid guys. They're NFL players, and they want to make a name for themselves against a side, against that right side that is the Achilles heel of this team right now.
They're going to scheme.
They're going to stunt
to do something against that right side.
That's
Every NFL team that plays the Giants this year is going to look at that right side and lick their chops.
Exactly. All right, moving on. The Detroit defense had 4 turnovers that they got last week, so that's nice.
That's a lot.
3 from the strong safeties.
That's a lot.
All right, so
Cardinals, right? They beat the Cardinals.
They beat the Cardinals. Yeah.
Man, what the hell?
Yeah. So
Cardinals had a bad game.
Yeah.
The lead guy breaks his wrist, and then Carson Palmer's getting old.
Yeah.
He's getting old. I should. I'm
same age as Eli, right?
I know, but some people, when they get older, they really look like they're playing. You remember how good Peyton Manning was one year? The next year is like, wow, man, he dropped off. So I don't think that Eli's gotten to that point yet. It could happen any day, I guess.
Right.
But Carson Palmer looks like he's lost a little bit, a little zip on the ball. It just does. He's a good guy, but it looks like that. And they had a bad game.
Yeah.
They had a bad game last game. They really did.
Well, another thing to throw out there in reference to Matt Stafford is fourth quarter comebacks.
Yeah.
Wow. Last year, I believe he had 8.
In one season.
It's
pretty impressive.
He's ranked number 4 all time in fourth quarter comebacks. So what happened last weekend against Cardinals, that's typical for him.
I think they scored like 20 points in the fourth quarter.
That's nuts.
I mean, they just got to this one point in the game and they just
just let it fly.
They just crushed him,
One more guy on the defense, on the Detroit defense, is Jared Davis. He had 9 tackles, middle linebacker. He seems pretty hot. Let's keep an eye on him and see what he does in this game. But you expect a middle linebacker, much like B.J. Goodson, to get some tackles.
Sure.
He can get 18, but he got 9, and he led him in tackles. So, moving on to the game as a whole, do you see the Giants' offense gelling in this game, really coming together with the hopes that Beckham is going to play, which gives them confidence? That's what he gives them more than anything. He may only get 3 or 4 passes in this game, but knowing he's out there, it was obvious that this team was
the defense
flat.
has to think about him.
Yeah,
that's the biggest.
They got
thing.
at least game plan for
They
this
got
guy.
to think about him.
You really see them coming back and being able to work something against Detroit?
I mean, I want to say yes. My heart says yes.
Yeah.
But I just, it's so hard because I'm such a fan, man.
Yeah.
I just want them to kick ass, but I really hope they do.
Okay.
I hope they do something.
Yeah, I really do too. I think it's imperative that they do something. Honestly. I think in our season preview, I mentioned that if we didn't see something happen after the first few games, there were going to be some changes on this line. Now, we may already see them because Bobby Hart's injured. All right? But John Jerry, he's on the block. As far as I'm concerned, he's on the block. Okay? I've seen him on his rear end more than I want to see. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen out of this game. I hope he has a good game. But then again, there's somebody I know that sits right across from me that says, I hope he breaks a leg. So, I mean, let's wait and see. I don't want to wish ill on him.
I'm wondering in my own mind, for him to get beat like that, it's just flat out strength. It's strength.
Yeah.
What was he doing in the offseason?
Right.
I mean, maybe it's technique somewhat. Maybe his feet aren't set a certain way. But to me, it seems like it's strength. I mean, this guy has got to be. They should be working him out, doing some major squats or something to build up his strength. But I don't know.
But they did all that.
At this point,
they did all that in the offseason. They're losing weight. What did I hear? Eric Flowers was taking boxing lessons so he could get his hand speed up or something.
Technique.
So anyway, I'm watching the game, right? And Eric Flowers has his left leg back. Okay, when he's in a stance, he has his left leg back. And Collinsworth, or one of the jokers on NBC, notes it. And they say, yeah, that's so he can get a quicker start on the defensive end. So you got to do that. So we're already having to change. He's already having to change himself to be able to get that extra step when he should have it.
Well, if he changes himself compared to last season, that's okay. So maybe that's something in the technique that they worked on. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know about what these offensive linemen do and their techniques and stuff like that. It's just amazing how some of them are just every year consistent and can get in front of the guys and block very effectively or get that push that they need to have the running game. And I just don't see it with the Giants, particularly on the right side.
Yeah.
I see him getting knocked back constantly, and it's like, what? Is it strength? Is it technique? Who's the offensive line? What is he doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to say that they're going to bounce back. But I don't know. I just don't know, man. I don't know.
So as of right now, and it's Friday before the game, do we know that Odell Beckham is playing?
We don't know, but he's probably going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. I mean, he was a game time decision in this last game, so. I mean, it seems like with a whole extra week plus have the extra day because it's a Monday night game.
Right.
Yes, but then again, they're saying this high ankle sprain is like a high ankle sprain. They say it's a 4 to 6 week injury.
Yeah. I
Maybe
saw
even
that.
6 to 8. I don't know.
That was kind of puzzling.
I think I said 4 to 6, so we're in the 4th week.
Right.
So
we'll see.
I think he'll play. Plus, it's Monday Night Football. Plus, Beckham likes spotlight.
It's the stage. It's all about that.
Seems like a game that he'll play in, but
I'm sure he's got it.
They definitely don't want to have him worse than an injury because then he's going to be out God knows how long.
Right.
So they don't want to do that. So we'll see what happens.
So let's talk about something positive. Monday night.
I'm just wondering. Okay.
Monday night halftime celebration for Super Bowl 42.
Oh, is that what we're going to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you have been a longtime fan. Tell me about your memories of Super Bowl 42 against the New England Patriots.
That was special. Patriots were undefeated, and I became a fan in '83. So I saw them, when they won in the '80s and early '90s, 1990, and but they were a really good team then. They were a really good team. Obviously, they were a good team when they beat the Patriots because they won the Super Bowl. But they were big time underdogs. They were kind of underdogs in the 1990 Super Bowl too. But I remember specifically, watching the Super Bowl in 2000 when the Ravens put the beat down on the Giants. So from 1990 to that Super Bowl they had in 2007, you're just waiting for them to have that season where they win it all. So yeah, it was awesome. Had a bunch of friends over at my house and a course, the helmets catch, and Eli getting out of it. I mean, this is an awesome play. It's probably one of the most memorable plays now. You see it all the time, on commercials and on, when they're talking about NFL history and stuff like that, and on NFL Network, they always have that play on there. It's a very special play, and I'm sure David Tyree will probably be part of the celebration. So yeah, the fact that the Patriots were undefeated, it's much more special than the 2011 win to me, for that reason. And yeah, I cried, man. I cried, no question about it. It was awesome.
Winding up, kind of our thoughts for the upcoming game against Detroit. My feeling is it's about as close to being a must-win game as you're going to get, based on the fact that next week we play the Eagles, and we really have a tough schedule throughout the season. I don't think we necessarily want to go into the Eagles game being down 0-2.
No, of course not. No, you want to be you want to go into that game with a win under your belt, no question.
Well, I want to send a shout out to Sue, and also a shout out to your brother, Josh. They've both been instrumental in their input and what we can do to provide you the very best of what we do. And we hope that you're going to give us your input so we can keep this going. Thank you very much for watching. And thanks to Tin Cannon for some fantastic beer tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. And go Giants.
Go Giants, please. Please. Please go Giants.
All right, we're out.